Welcome back. Today, we are going to look at the options for sharing your screen from Zoom on a PC. So I am on my Windows machine now, but it will work much the same way for the desktop application, whether you're on a Windows machine or a Mac as well. Mainly, we are going to look at all the options under the share screen menu, bright green in the middle. But first, I do want to note a few options in the small caret button within the share screen button. First, you'll see two items that can be checked one or the other. You can check one participant can share at a time, or multiple participants can share simultaneously. Sometimes the second option can be useful. They will all show up much like we're seeing our different students right now, where you can have them all in gallery view and view a lot of screens at the same time. Most often for classes, though, one participant sharing at a time will be the most beneficial for our classes. Also, if you click their advanced options, you can change the following availability. You can make only the host able to share. So if your students are having trouble withholding themselves and they're sharing when they should not be, you can withdraw that permission there. Additionally, you can allow only yourself to be able to interrupt other people's sharing. If this is turned to all participants, anyone can interrupt a current share. But if only host is selected, then only you will be able to kind of take over when someone else is already sharing their screen. So those options are important and you need to see those, but now we'll move into the share screen menu. You'll see several options, and this is a big window, and we'll go through these things one at a time. The first things you'll see at the top are screens. If you have multiple monitors, as I do, you'll see screen one, screen two, and more if you have more than two screens. You will also see screen one is being identified now. You'll be able to tell which of your screens are which number, and there'll be you can see the blue border going around my screen to tell me that that's what Zoom is about to share. Keep in mind that these two options, or one if that's all you can see, will share your entire screen. So even if you choose one of these options and have, say, a Google Doc pulled up, if you switch even momentarily to your email, students will be able to see that for as long as it's on the screen. So in that case, you might want to consider one of the options underneath. These options have the icon of an application and will only share what is in that application's window. So for instance, I have a Google Chrome window pulled up, and I can share just that specific window with my students. If I switch to another application, that information will not share on the screen. However, again, since I'm sharing Chrome, any tab I switch to within Chrome will be shared. So if you want to prevent yourself from sharing sensitive information there, it's a good idea to open the thing that you want to share in a Chrome window by itself and share that window, just that one in particular. Also on the screen, we can do a whiteboard much like we can on the iPad. It will just open up a blank white page that you and your students can write on. Finally, on this screen, there is an option to mirror an iPhone or iPad. If you've ever mirrored using AirPlay or to an Apple TV or Air server from your iPad, this works much the same. It just allows your Zoom session to show up as an Air server or AirPlay option on your iPad. This is not especially stable, so if you would like to do this, my advice would be to join the call from your iPad and then share your screen from there instead of sharing it through this method. It's a little bit easier on your network to handle from that, and if it's having to go through your network to this device and then out on the Zoom call, it's a little bit more for Zoom to handle and may result in a little lower performance. That's it on this screen. I am going to come back to the options at the bottom in just a second, but first we'll go to advanced. Here we can share just a portion of our screen. If we select this and click share, we'll get a box that's put on the screen that we can move around and resize. This is really good if you want to share just a portion of your screen with your students. However, remember, anything that goes into that portion will be visible by everyone. So if you're moving things in and out of there, that will be visible to those on your call. Music or computer sound. If you ever need to share an audio clip or maybe just the audio from a video, you want to select this option. If you don't, what's happening is your sound is actually being played out of your speakers on your computer if you don't have headphones in, and then that sound is being taken back in through the microphone and then shared to your Zoom call. That situation will result in very low performance. Choosing this option shares the sound directly through Zoom that your computer is about to play and will result in a much better sound experience. Finally, on the screen, if you have a second camera hooked up, so maybe your device has a front and a back camera, or maybe you've plugged in an extra camera, you can share from that as well. You can share files individually. This option may be removed in newer versions of Zoom. So my advice would be to stay away from these for now and instead go back to the basic tab and either share just a window or share a screen and pull your files up like normal. Finally, the two options down here at the bottom. Share computer sound will do what that item in the advanced tab did. If you have share computer sound checked, it's not going through your speakers anymore and back to the microphone. It's sharing any audio that's being played from the computer directly to the Zoom call. If you're playing any audio on your computer at all that you would like students to be able to hear, you want this to be checked. The natural time when we would want to do that is when we're sharing a video clip, and that's what this second item helps us with. If we are sharing a video clip, there's some optimizations that Zoom can do with display size and resolution that can be shared better if we check this. If you check that one by itself, it will automatically enable share computer sound, which is good because that's what you want. I will say, in my class experiences, this is pretty poor performance and does not work especially well with Zoom and wherever you're viewing the video, be it Chrome or another browser. My advice here, and what I've done when I needed to, is I pick another way, either through the chat or Google Classroom or something else, to share the link to the video with my students. And then I give them the time of the video. So I tell them all to start playing it at the same time. I start watching it myself with the sound muted so I can still have access to my students. And then when the video is done on my end, I know that I can prompt the students to come back, but we all got to view it ourselves on our personal devices. The video experience there is much, much better because it's not having to go through so many channels to get to each student. So that would be my advice for sharing video clips. Regardless, whatever you pick from any of those menus, you finally end by clicking share in the bottom corner, and it will do just that. That is all of the options that you have to share your screen from Zoom on a PC. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know, and I will see you in the next one.